Every year in the NFL, it's a new team. As far as goals go, we have one. Putting a f***ing ring on our finger.
Welcome to the Buccaneers Observer Podcast. This is Ralph Phillips.
I'm Molly Bay.
Today is June 28th, 2020. 77 days to kickoff for the Buccaneers. Right around the corner, that's how I look at it.
I think training camp's supposed to start in a month, too.
Yep.
Hopefully
it'll all get to going. Got an exciting show for you today. Going to cover some of the Shaq Barrett news, some Brady news, of course, and
some Vita and JPP news.
Yes. We got any fact checks or follow-ups?
Dang it.
We didn't do it.
We had some, and I even wrote them down on my notes from last podcast, and then I just completely forgot. We'll get it next time.
Okay. I guess we'll get in the news. I don't know. Okay. One of 5 remaining NFL players who has not signed their franchise tender, Shaq Barrett, was asked Wednesday why he has not put pen to paper yet. He said it's still up in the air right now, about 50-50. He said that on the NFL Network. He said, we're going to find out a little more information on Friday, but Friday came and gone with no information.
That sounds ominous. What does he mean it's 50-50 up in the air? Like 50-50, he'll sign the franchise tag or...
Yeah, wait. I think he's trying to get a deal, a long-term deal, and he's saying it's 50-50 at all.
Okay. But I mean, he's going to sign the tag, right? He's not going to hold out.
Who knows? I wouldn't think he would. You know, just his attitude, the way he's talked and everything, he doesn't seem like the type of person that's going to hold out. I mean, you know, it's one thing to have a good year, but I just can't see holding out because you had one good year.
Yeah.
He's been in the league, what is this, his 5th or 6th year? You know, this is his first year as a full-time starter, and he put up great numbers. And granted, if you ask me, I would say, hey, pay the man whatever he wants. But, you know, we're a little bit tight on the cap. Don't have a whole lot to give anybody. But I'm sure they'll work something out, get him long-term signed, and something that'll be affordable for the Buccaneers.
Well, it's not like the money he's making from the franchise tag is chump change. I mean, what is it, like the average of the top 5 players at that position?
Yes.
So it's still good money.
Oh, yeah, it's more money than he's made the past, ever since he's been in the NFL combined.
Yeah. The Bucs are really having to be cost conscious, I guess. We only have like $5 million in cap space right now. So they've got to kind of finagle it to make sure we're not going to go over that. And we still have some wiggle room to sign other players if we need to.
Vita Vea had surgery.
He did.
He's going to miss the beginning of training camp, apparently. He'll be ready for the regular season. What kind of surgery was it?
Hand surgery.
Unspecified
hand surgery. No. He suffered an unspecified hand injury per Rick Stroud. So he's going to miss part of training camp. Not really a big deal, I don't think, because he missed training camp in his first season, plus the first 3 games of the season and all of preseason. So he has that calf injury. And then last season, his second year, he tore his LCL, or sprained his LCL in August, which kept him out of training camp and preseason, but he returned for game 1. So not unusual for Vita to have some injury bug during the preseason, but it doesn't seem to usually carry over into the regular season.
Along with that, JPP got arthroscopic knee surgery. He should be back for the beginning of training camp. They say he's not going to miss any time.
I know. So that's like a month. But, you know, when he broke his neck, because he just had the surgery and then training camp is supposed to start at the end of July. When he broke his neck, BA talked about what a freak healer he is. So having surgery on his knee, it's like nothing. And he's like, yeah, I'll be back.
Yeah, it is kind of a very insignificant surgery. They just go in and scope it out, clean stuff.
What was it?
Knee surgery.
I mean, was it on anything in particular, or they're just going in there and...
Probably just clean it out with the bone fragments and shrapnel.
Gross.
That guy, I'm telling you, man, he needs to be put in bubble wrap the day after the last season game and then unwrapped. I don't even know if he needs to go to training camp. just unwrapped the day before the first game of the year.
Yeah. I don't know, but I mean, he does have all these injuries, but then it doesn't even faze him. Like, maybe he needs to be injured sometimes.
Hey, I've known people like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like I remember in the 2018 season when he was playing with like knee braces on both his knees and an elbow was, it was just like, he looked like the Bionic Man, and it just went out there and played like normal. It was nothing.
Brady's been having workouts with the players. They've been at that school. I can't remember the name of it.
Berkeley Prep
School, doing private workouts with Buccaneer players. Mike Evans showed up at the last one, so that's good.
You know what's crazy? I thought I saw him in the first helicopter video, but apparently it was not him. It was somebody else. I could have sworn he was in that first video. Like, I would have put money on it. And then I saw that tweet where he had showed up for the first time this week, and I was like, no, he was already there. I don't know. Just imagining things, I guess.
Apparently the NFLPA put out a statement, it was a video I saw. I can't remember where it was at, but they...
their executive director, Demore Smith, is going around giving interviews, and he's pissed about Russell Wilson and Tom Brady having player workouts.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. Joe Bucs pointed it out, and they actually did a really good article. I'll go over it here in a minute. But they said on that very same field that they're practicing on, they're having sports camp for kids. They're out there. And he brought up a bunch of other stuff, how, there's the NHL, I think, is doing some stuff and everything. It's like, why are they singling out Tom Brady and Russell Wilson for this mess? I've heard some theories that it has something to do with some negotiation stuff that the NFLPA is doing with
That's my theory.
NFL. Yeah.
Well, he even said it. Smith said it in a interview. He said, "I certainly understand how competitive our players are, and I get that. But at the same time, we are in the process of trying to negotiate with the league about what happens to a player if they test positive during the season." So yeah, I think from the NFLPA's perspective, it weakens their negotiation.
Mm-hmm. And Joe Bucs fan, he kind of went off, or they kind of went off. Jenna Lane was on ESPN TV, and we watched the interview. They were talking about Brady doing the practice and stuff. And she said she kind of took some shots at the Tampa Bay area residents collectively and at Brady for the bad optics of his workout. And Joe Bucs fan did not take too kindly to that.
And thank God they spoke up and said something.
Yeah. Yeah, he said that, or they said, Joe Bucs fan said that at Berkeley Prep School, the kids and counselors are engaged in summer camp, including sports camps where everyone is seemingly breathing all over each other. Both events are illegal, he said. And the last time Joe checked, the NFL Players Union recommendation that players refrain from group workouts hardly qualifies as a government edict. Yeah, we all know that, Joe. But he said, but that's not good enough for the National Media Police. Bucs beat writer Jenna Lane was what he said. He goes on to talk about that. And then he talks about Mike Florio barked at Brady for flaunting the workouts on his social media. And he asked, what the heck is going on here?
The media, they just love the finger wagging. They like being in this position of moral superiority.
You think?
A little bit. They like to lecture us.
But then Joe Bucs fan had a great article on their website. It's actually the first time I've seen them do almost a long form piece.
Really?
Yeah, it's probably about twice as long as they normally do. But it was called The War on Tom Brady. And they said, the message seems clear from a borderline hysterical national NFL writer. Tom Brady will get us all sick and may cause a death or two.
Interesting. It's funny because Joe Bucs fan is usually one of the ones like leading. I don't want to say. I want to be careful about how I phrase this. They will typically be the initiators of some negative perspectives on the team. And so it is interesting seeing them defend the team so vehemently. And I understand they are disenfranchised fans, and that's kind of their shtick. To me, it gets tiring. But so it's kind of a different. thing for them.
Yes, it is. They started their business, the JoeBucksFan.com site, in 2008 or 2009, I think it was. So they've only really experienced 2 winning seasons, and it's just been really a bad time for the Buccaneers, and they've had to cover it. And they jumped into this with both feet, and it seems like they've gotten quite pessimistic with the Buccaneers. And I think it'd be interesting to see how they're going to be when the Buccaneers do go to the playoffs and make it. They're probably going to be totally ecstatic.
I hope so. And listen, I get it. The pessimism, the anger, and that kind of stuff. You and I both, our perspective on fandom is just different than that.
Yeah.
It's just a different approach.
Going through the article, they trashed Nancy Armour of USA Today for basically couch feigning over Tom Brady having the workout because she said, but Brady also could be jeopardizing the health and safety of players around the league for months to come.
Oh, so for God's
Joe
sake.
really goes into her about that. He says, Armour paints a picture of Brady having mind control over these teammates, forcing them to work out with him and exposing them to a deadly disease if his teammates, adults, all of them, can't even make up their own minds whether they need to use a bathroom or not. Yet like half the article is about that Armour person. And then he goes into Tom Pelissero of NFL Network on the Mad Dog Radio discussing the workouts. And he said they're a virtual unsecured Wuhan lab that is sure to accelerate the spread of, and in quotes, it's the sickness. Pelissero assumes this because, in part, he thinks Brady and company may not be disinfecting their footballs enough. Seriously, that's what they said. And then Joe goes on and says, yeah, people can pump gas in their own vehicles, and many do so without using gloves or disinfectant wipes. Has Pelissero or anyone in authority advocated the closing of gas stations or mandatory sanitizing between pumps? How many reading this story use keypads to purchase groceries or obtain cash? Are those keypads wiped down after each use? No. If these workouts were so dangerous, doesn't anyone think the school would shut them down? Talking about Berkeley Prep. Wouldn't just about any school hosting some type of practice on its premises stop the activities if it put people at risk? So never mind at the very same time Brady and company are working out, the same school is also hosting youth sports camps of all sorts. Where's the moral indignation about that? Those are children involved, not adults. And then he also points out that Chris Godwin, and who knows who else, took part in some sort of football skills camp recently.
Shame on them. How dare they?
He's being facetious about the Godwin thing.
I know. Me too.
But then he goes on to state, do these people really think that Brady and maybe a dozen Buc teammates are the only NFL players working out together? If so, that's incredibly naive. Even a former NFL offensive lineman said so this week. Said Brady and them were not doing anything more than what the Lightning are doing and what the Rays will be doing beginning Wednesday, and what untold number of youth campers throughout Florida are doing now. Why is Brady being singled out as some irresponsible, egotistical monster? Well, that's good to see Joe Bucs fans standing up for Tom Brady a little bit.
I agree. It's they're grown men. Like, what are you going to do?
Right. Yeah, everybody knows the risks. Everybody's, And like I said, these guys are in no threat whatsoever of, being affected by the coronavirus. They're young, they're healthy. I mean, some of the healthiest people on the planet. They've got the best medical care on the planet. I think it's a little ridiculous how people overreact to things. But somebody in the comments section of Joe Bucs Fan said people need to write articles just to justify their jobs. And that's partly true, too. There's not a whole lot to talk about now. There's not a whole lot going on. So, you're always going to get clicks if you talk about Tom Brady. So,
and it's kind of the nature of journalism, which you and I have kind of gone back and forth about this before. But in journalism, and you'll see it with local journalists in particular, like if there's a national event that takes place, like say a disaster, like say a building collapsed in Michigan. Mm-hmm. And, you kind of make it relevant to your area. Could this building collapse?
Yes. They all of a sudden start doing reports on the buildings in the area.
It drives Ralph crazy, but it's a thing where you to cover that, you kind of have to make it relevant to your base.
Your readers.
Basically, your readers, your viewers, whatever. And so sports journalists, I think it's no different. They try to take this national story and apply it to this subsect of the population.
We also got to remember that there's a lot of people in the NFL. As a matter of fact, the vast majority of the people in the NFL do not like Tom Brady.
That's true. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think that's part
just
of it,
because
too.
in a competitive sense.
Yeah. I think someone who's at the top. See, it's way easier to tear something down than it is to build it up. So, I think they spend an exorbitant amount of time trying to take down the people at the top.
Yes, and journalists are not known to be the most hardworking people on the planet. So, it's easier for them to tear people down.
Right.
You're right. Ken Laird, speaking of journalists, from radio.com, WEEI, Sports Radio Network, he wrote an article, Does Tampa know what it is truly getting with Tom Brady? Now, he covers the Boston sports scene. He started covering them about 5 years ago. Before that, he was with Pittsburgh. He was with Pittsburgh for a long time, covering the Steelers and the Pittsburgh area sports. But this guy just kind of rips into the Tampa media and Tom Brady.
Really?
Yeah. Well, he's obviously taken Belichick's side on this. I went and I read through his past articles, and he was kind of back and forth in his coverage between the two. But he's apparently decided that since Tom Brady is gone now, he's open game, and he has completely taken Belichick's side in this whole
Well, how is there
saga.
even a Belichick side? Wasn't a mutual parting of ways. It's how it's been billed to us. So
Well, he goes through the article, and remember we talked about this when Tom Brady came here about his guru, his fitness instructor / business partner, Guerrero.
Yeah.
Yes, well, apparently the Tampa Bay Times took pictures of Tom Brady working out, and they put in the caption that here's Tom Brady drinking some water with some unidentified individuals. And this just freaked this Ken Laird out. I guess it's what made him write this article, because he put on the site that picture, and then he circled Guerrero and had arrows drawn to him from the phrase unidentified individuals. And he was like, Tampa Bay media doesn't even know who this guy is. He's like, they're totally unprepared for what's going to happen. And he breaks down how Guerrero kind of caused trouble in the locker room, all the stuff we covered in the podcast.
Yeah, I remember that. So just to sum of that up in case people missed the podcast.
Yes. Alex Guerrero is Tom Brady's partner in the TB12 franchise. He is a health guru. He's the one that trains Tom Brady and has got him on these anti-inflammation workouts and routines and diet and all that good stuff. He has become a large part of Tom Brady's life, so much so that he was in the locker room at the Patriots facilities for many years, and he got into it with some of the training staff for the New England Patriots, because he was saying, don't do this, don't do that, and going against their advice, and it ended up being a clash. Eventually...
And he was advising other members of the Patriots, too, not just Tom Brady.
Right. And it became such an issue that eventually the Patriots kicked him out of the locker room. And it was a rift between Brady and Belichick and all that good stuff. But this Guerrero guy is a really large part of Tom Brady's life. And how the Tampa Bay media didn't know that is really quite fascinating. Just kind of doesn't shine a good light on them. But the Ken Laird's article, he says the Tampa Bay Buccaneers paid for Tom Brady's services, but were they aware they purchased a 6-ring circus? One circus hoop for each Super Bowl ring on Brady's fingers. He's an obsessed football player, Tampa Bay 12 or TB12 Corporation, wannabe movie star, life coach, supermodel husband, and possible FOT, which stands for friend of Trump. And I hate it when journalists have to throw politics into sports. It's just, if I want to get involved in politics, I'll go read about politics. Keep politics out of my sports, please. And he said, last but not least, Bucs fans, it's an election year. Every day Trump will be in the news, meaning each day the Brady-Trump relationship is fair game again. We'll all see that 2015 MAGA hat image from Brady's locker room stall 100 times. And see, why would he do that? I mean, what's that got to do with sports? I don't know. But he goes on and he just really kind of trashes Brady. Talks about his Netflix spa scene cameo dropping in the middle of the 2019 game week. That Brady will soon be carrying around a 43-year-old body with the ability to unleash a quick temper if things don't go his way.
This dude sounds like he's got an axe to grind.
Well, he's definitely, when you read his articles, he's definitely super pro Belichick. He said in Boston, the worst it got was Brady growing a bushy Logan Mankins beard in solidarity for his lost guard. The worst it could get in Tampa? Antonio Brown demands anyone? And let's hope Arians gives Tom enough Buccaneer of the Week awards to keep him happy while employing backup quarterbacks who are sure to pose no threat to his playing time. Just
Wow.
Yeah. And he also talked about how Tom Brady is now part general manager because he got Rob Gronkowski to come there.
Dude sounds bitter.
And he closes out with, is Brady worth all the drama? Yes.
Yeah, if he brings us a Super Bowl ring.
Right.
Like
the only drama coming from Brady has been from the media.
I know. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Completely manufactured. It's just ridiculous.
It is.
And it just goes to show, like, I'm presuming that he's a Patriots fan. I don't know.
I doubt it. I mean, like I said, he was a Pittsburgh guy before this. He's only been with the Boston sports media for 5 years. He sounds like a spoiled NFL viewer, if nothing else, who is used to watching a winning team, reporting on a winning team. And so this is the nonsense that he focuses on. But again, like I said, there's not a whole lot going on in the sports world, especially the NFL world. So, these guys have, they got a job to do. They got to come up with stuff. And I find it amusing. And that's what this all is. It's entertainment. It's all entertainment. It's entertaining. It can be frustrating. You can let it bother you and get upset about it. But when it comes down to it, it's all entertainment. It's what it's designed for. It's what it's made for. The world ain't going to end if the NFL doesn't play. We're just going to have one less form of entertainment.
You're a lot more charitable than I am because I like to save those for what I call receipts. And then when they're wrong, I will bring them back out. Because I'm petty. I do like how Brady has not directly addressed this or pushed back, but he is, he made that post on Instagram that showed a picture of them working out with a quote, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself."
Hey, some people have that mentality.
Yeah.
That's what it takes to be the best.
Yeah.
You can't be scared.
No risk it, no biscuit.
Yeah, exactly. No risk it, no biscuit. That's good. Good one, Molly.
Thank you.
If you're going to have the no risk it, no biscuit philosophy, it's got to be applied, right?
We got it here, baby. From
you can't
top
just
to
say
bottom.
it, not do it.
That's right.
Got to walk to talk, or talk to walk, or walkie talkie.
Talkie walkie.
Yeah, the Bucs finally updated their coaches page to show that Keith Tandy is on the coaching staff.
I had totally
he replaced
forgot
Amos
about that.
Jones. Yeah. Corey Bitchey. Bichey. How do you pronounce that? Bicky?
Bichey?
Is also now officially, he's replaced Mike Stacchiotti as an assistant strength coach.
Okay.
God, how many strength coaches do we have?
A lot. We have a whole department, remember?
Well, that's right. Our boy's going to be strong.
Oh, did you see the Buccaneers' first general manager, Phil Kruger, died?
Yes, I did see
at
that.
the age of 90. This is crazy. He was the first general manager hired in 1991. So before that, they had no GM for years.
Well, that was because of free agency.
So was that the norm through the league, I wonder?
What, not having a general manager?
Yeah.
I don't know. But general manager definitely was needed once free agency became a thing because you got all this movement. There just used to not be a whole lot of movement in the NFL.
Right.
You could have trades and stuff, but you were drafted by a team. You stay with that team.
That's crazy. Prior to that, the team's coaches made player decisions prior to his hiring.
Mm-hmm.
You got any more news?
No.
Thank you.
I might, but I can't think of anything.
Okay, we had a listener comment on YouTube from Thomas, and I thought this was a really great question. I want to run it by you. Thomas writes, "Hey, this is Tom from Florida. Great job, guys. I appreciate the podcast during a rough time down here. I feel there will be a season, but with reduced fans or no fans. My big concern for the team is defensive line depth. Maybe they should look at Clay Matthews. What are your thoughts?" And I actually, after looking at this and weighing it, I actually love this idea.
Well, getting Clay Matthews?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I
guess.
love his attitude.
Yes, this is true.
The one rub is our cap space.
Mm-hmm.
We have $5 million in cap space. That's the top 51 of the roster. But he made an average salary of $4.6 million at the Rams, and he is a unrestricted free agent.
Oh,
right
okay.
now.
Yeah, so we could afford him.
Yeah, I actually love this idea.
That is a good idea because we've got okay depth at the defensive line.
Yeah, and
Taco
he's technically
Nacho.
That is exactly how you are when we go to Mexican restaurants. So you're like, I don't know what I like.
I don't know the difference between a taco, a nacho, burrito.
I'll tell you, every time I try to get Ralph to go eat Mexican, he goes, Taco Bell?
Yeah, I'm like,
it's not even the same thing.
I don't know what I like. I mean, to me, it all tastes the same. It's just wrapped in different stuff.
Yeah, and some of it have the sauce on the outside, some the sauce on the inside.
When you put it in your mouth, it's no different. It all tastes the same to me. So yeah, I don't know the difference between a taco and a nacho.
Yeah. He is 35 years old. He's my first thought was, he's a little injury prone, which I went back and looked at his record through his career, and that's not necessarily the case. Like, he had seasons where he missed like 5 games or 4, but it was never more than that. So, and especially at a position where we have starters already, JPP and Shaq, and he wouldn't be getting the reps that maybe he was getting in those years, and that wouldn't be as much of an issue.
Right. And because of his age and everything, it would probably be better for him to not play as many snaps.
Right. And I love his attitude. He is a monster on the field. He is a dog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's a good question, Tom.
Yeah.
We both concur. Let's get him.
I agree, yeah. I like it. And he's still available. Nobody's picked him up.
Huh.
I don't know. We also got I
was talking about Nacho like he was an outside linebacker. I was basically just talking about our defensive line.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do kind of in my mind like group all of them together too, but...
Yeah, when I think, our defensive line, I'd throw the outside linebackers in there with it. So, just thinking about who our backups are at outside linebacker. We've got JPP and Shaquille Barrett are the starters. We lost Nasib.
I'm going to sound horrible, but I can't think of anybody behind those guys. Now,
Why do we even have a Buccaneer podcast? We don't know anything.
Well, we are doing it's a sneak preview for all the listeners, but we are doing breakdowns of all the position groups, and I was actually just working on the defensive line today.
You don't remember.
No, but not the outside linebackers. I'm putting them in a separate category.
Oh, really? So we're going to do the defensive line and...
Yes. And then outside linebackers separate.
Well, right now we got Cousin Daniels, Quentin Bell, Anthony Nelson, Cam Gill. Those are the only outside linebackers we have.
Oh
so yeah,
gosh.
that's a very serious question.
I would love that.
Our depth at outside linebacker is not too deep, shallow. It's ankle deep.
It's a kiddie pool.
Anthony Nelson, this is what, his second year?
Yeah, I think so.
He did good last year. I liked him.
But didn't he end up on IR?
I don't recall. That'll be something good for the fact check and follow up.
That I'll forget to do.
That you'll forget to do or forget to bring to the notes.
Okay, I just looked it up and he did not end this season on IR. I don't know what I was thinking.
He only started 1 game last year. He played in 9.
So we didn't really use him a whole lot.
So thank you, Tom, for the question and the comments. Appreciate it. That was a good one. I'm going to ruminate on that one and
I know. We should start pushing for that one.
probably have more thoughts on it next podcast.
Cool. Okay, and then we got a tweet a fan experience from at Africa the Rebel on Twitter.
What was that? Africa the Rebel?
Yes, at Africa the Rebel. Hey guys, love the podcast. I'm a Buccaneers fan and I live in Maryland, 2 blocks from FedEx Field where the lame Washington team plays football, allegedly.
I like it.
I know. I got a good chuckle out of that one. He said, I've seen the Bucs play them once in my lifetime, and it was amazing being around all those beautiful Buccaneers fans.
Yeah.
And it felt real good. Hopefully we'll play Washington or Baltimore next season. Anyway, be safe, guys, and go Bucs. We are also in Redskins country. And I will say I'm glad that the Redskins suck because typically the Redskins fans are out in force for about the first 3 or 4 games and then they just disappear through the season because they just suck so bad. Yeah. So I think everyone just hides their Redskins gear. And I imagine one day when they're good, it'll be really obnoxious.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And, I do recall when they had RG3 and all that.
That was miserable.
Did they make it to the playoffs that year?
Yes.
And so that was obnoxious, but thankfully short-lived. So we feel your pain.
They've got Ron Rivera, Jack Del Rio, who's their offensive coordinator.
Right.
They've got quite a good coaching staff, I guess you would say. They're at least going to be mediocre.
Right. And lucky for them, that division is weak. So
yeah.
Who knows? Ralph has actually seen the Bucs play in FedEx Field quite a few times. Gotten in quite a few fights.
I saw, unfortunately, because I just don't like Redskins fans, and I don't like the Buccaneers losing.
Right, and the Bucs lost every time you've been.
Oh yeah,
and so
I've never seen the Bucs win live.
You're a jinx.
I know.
What's it been like?
This was back in our Super Bowl era days. We played. Deion Sanders was playing for the Redskins, and we went into overtime with them one time, and we were kicking their butts, and we went into overtime, and Deion Sanders ran the ball back. We kicked it off to him, and he ran it back to about the 20, and they ended up scoring a field goal and winning. I was so furious. Redskins can die.
Of course, we don't mean that.
No, metaphorically.
Right.
I wonder if they're going to change their name with all this stuff going on with the, everything's changing.
Yeah. They've resisted it so far.
You had a good name for them. What was it?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I'm still a big fan of foreskins. I think they just go with foreskins.
That's a good one.
I don't know what their logo would be like, but it'd probably be a little R-rated.
I'm sure someone would be offended about that. I don't know that it would be. I
think I just offended myself with what I just said.
It'd be like jumping out of the frying pan into the fire. Now, they've resisted it so far. I don't know if they can resist it how much longer, but I don't know. That's an expensive overhaul.
Yeah.
A complete rebranding.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. We'll see. So thanks for the comment. We love these. If you want to share your fan experience, please tweet us or send us a message on Facebook. You can private message us on Twitter. Email. Smoke signals.
Speaking of Redskins.
Snail mail.
So as we're getting closer to the season, Molly, I want to ask you, do you think we're going to have a season? And how do you think it's going to turn out as far as what they're going to do about fans being able to go to games and players?
Well.
And we were very, very optimistic. We try to stay optimistic here.
Yeah, well, it looks like everywhere is kind of having a second wave. So I think that might put a little damper on it, especially so close to the season. I don't know if because really we've got 2 months basically to get that under control. So my guess would be if there are fans permitted, it will be limited capacity. That would be my guess. I have hope that this season will go on.
I just don't see how we can continue to live a life like this much longer, to be honest with you.
I agree.
But I don't, everybody seems to be falling into a routine, and this is like the new normal now. I know there's like a second wave of cases.
Correct.
But it's not fatalities. Fatalities have actually gone down really, really low.
Right.
We might see a little bit of an increase in fatalities with this new second wave. I don't even know. Is it really a second wave, or is it just we're testing more? Anything? There's so much out there that's misunderstood, and there's just
a lot of information, and it's just such a new thing that I think, and everyone's trying to work so hard to understand it.
Well, I've done a lot of research on just about every aspect of it, and a lot of people just don't know. I mean, the medical community is not real sure what. You can't get facts on anything. It's like with the masks. Me and you sat and looked the other day at research papers and the New England Journal of Medicine articles and everything. And they all the research papers and the articles from the like real medical people say that, the masks don't really do anything. They're not as beneficial as the public is led to believe. But you're getting a bunch of people saying they are. You're getting mandates from governments saying the mask. We don't know. The medical community still doesn't know how this is transmitted. They don't know if it's from droplets or if it's aerosolized. They don't know a whole lot. But we're given the impression that there's a lot of answers out there, and there aren't any. We still don't know a whole lot about this mess. So it is kind of frustrating and almost defeating to try and figure this stuff out when you're getting people saying one thing is truth over here, and you're getting people on another side saying no, that's wrong, this is the truth, and there's really just not a whole lot of evidence that's really factual, like good studies, good scientific research, blind peer-reviewed studies. There's very, very few. It's actually quite amazing to me that we've gone through this whole pandemic that's basically shut the world down, and the science behind it is as little as it is.
I think everyone just wants to feel like they're doing the right thing.
Yes.
And I think the masks give people a sense of control, like I can, stop the spread, or I can. So.
Yeah, but people need that. People need to feel like they're in control.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
There's all kinds of studies about that. If you have the less sense of control you have in your life, the more prone you are to sickness, depression, all that good stuff. Oh,
yeah, because, when you stress, you release cortisol hormones, and, that has all kinds of adverse effects on your body.
If this continues the way it's going now, I think there's a good possibility that they're going to postpone the start of the season.
I think that's a possibility, but I think that's as far as it's going to go. I don't foresee the season being canceled. I just don't think that's going to happen. I think the American people have said, we got to figure something out. Well, I think just in general, people said, we got to figure something out because people can't live like this. You can't. I mean, I feel it myself. Like, I'm a basket case in so many different ways, just, being cooped up.
Yeah, because you're more, as most women are, you're more of a sociable person. You really like getting out and being with people. So
going out and being able to go to the store,
go to lunches,
and hang out. Go hang out with my friends or go get coffee, whatever. And so it was quite an adjustment for me. And I'm not one that normally deals with a whole lot of mental health issues, but but I will admit I'm just kind of a basket case, and so. It's not good for people to live in fear. And I have family members who are just, I have family members on both ends of the spectrum. The ones who say, "Oh, it's not a big deal," and then others who are like, "It's the biggest deal that has ever happened, and I don't want anyone around me, and I don't want to go anywhere." Right?
Yeah, so, you've got family members who have been out doing like nothing has changed. They're still going out and traveling and all that good stuff. And then you got other family members who are basically cowering under their beds.
Yeah.
And they have been for months. So
yeah. And we haven't talked about this before on the podcast, but I did lose a relative to COVID.
They died. They
died with COVID.
With COVID.
Let's say that.
And they were
elderly.
Very
96.
96.
It was brought in by a caregiver. Other members of the family also got it. So it, but the family member who doesn't really care about it is on that side. So it was directly impacted. So it's, I don't know. And I don't have the answers. I don't know. I don't feel like anybody does.
Yeah, nobody does.
I don't think
nobody does. And nobody knows anything that's really going on. I mean, it's not making sense and all this good stuff. But if the things, you can see it ramping up now with some of the states withdrawing their phases for reopening. And all
I
that.
think Texas did that.
There's a lot of political pressure for these governors and stuff. When the numbers, everybody's looking at numbers, which again, to me, you use numbers as a tool. They're not the end all be all. Unfortunately, I feel like in this case, they're using the numbers as the end all be all. And so when the numbers start going up, everybody panics. These guys get political pressure put on them and they have to, scale back. And I can very much see the NFL doing the same thing. If the numbers start going up, the NFL is going to say, all right, we can't do this. We're going to have to postpone. And I don't want to think that. I'm surprised it's gone on this long. I really am. I was of the opinion that, when it first, me and Molly were one of the first ones to quarantine. We self-quarantined ourselves.
Oh yeah, I went into my job and said, this getting real. I'm working from home, and they basically told me to stop being paranoid. And then the very next day, they said, okay, everyone's working from home now. Yes. And I said, I told you.
And one of her bosses walking around wearing like clamshell mittens.
Yeah, like oyster gloves and a mask. So.
And this was the guy that told you were overreacting.
Yeah, that I was paranoid.
Yeah. And I was under the assumption that we would all understand that we do this to basically flatten the curve. I mean, you remember that was the whole original point behind it. And I was like, yes, that's what we need to do. And we get the hospitals prepared, give the medical community a time to figure out what to do, what everybody needs to do and everything. And it just seems like it has just gone, it's just exploded into this morass of nobody knowing anything. And we're just looking at numbers and making decisions based on that. So if that's the case, then yes, I could see where the NFL is going to postpone. They've already canceled the Hall of Fame game and the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, which you got to think, man, those guys, can you imagine you wait all this time to get in the Hall of Fame? You're so excited about it. I'm glad John Lynch didn't get in this year now. It's like, that would suck. He couldn't even go up there and give a speech or nothing. How are they going to do that? Is it going to be like a Zoom thing? I mean, it's just whatever.
So they're not going to do a ceremony or anything?
They'll probably do one kind of like they did the draft, maybe. I don't know. I haven't heard anything on it, but
you can't do that.
The ceremony itself.
It's like a big deal.
Yeah, it is a big deal.
I mean, but the Hall of Fame game is like the first preseason game. So is preseason canceled? Or are they rescheduling that game?
I think they canceled one preseason game, so we're only getting 3 this year.
Okay. I didn't hear about that.
I'm not sure. That's for some reason it's right there on the tip of my tongue that's what is happening. So, if this does continue, I could see where we post it, and I will be so upset. I will, this is the best year, the best offseason the Buccaneers have ever had by far. And I am so hyped for this season. And if it gets delayed or postponed or canceled,
I've just received a piece of breaking news. Are you ready for this?
What's that?
It's going to be a go done. Cam Newton has signed with the Patriots on a 1-year deal.
No.
Yes.
No.
As Ian Rappaport reporting. It's a chance to compete. Yeah. It's been in the works, and it's a bare minimum deal.
What?
Right.
He's getting minimum?
Yeah.
Well, he's a veteran, minimum. So he's not going to get to like 500,000. He'll get
probably like $1 million.
Yeah. Kind of like, wow, man. That's funny because they were talking about Cam Newton going to the Patriots. That's been the thing that they've been talking about basically since Cam Newton got released from the Panthers.
Yeah.
And I I've been of this whole time. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way.
We are so bad at this.
Well, if you're going to get Cam Newton for that price on a 1-year deal worth minimum, who wouldn't sign him?
Yeah. I think, and if you're Cam Newton, you take it because, he needs opportunity.
He's not getting any opportunities.
Yeah. He's taking a Jameis deal, basically.
I can't see more of an oil and water duo than Cam Newton and Bill Belichick, though. I really can't. Cam Newton just does not seem like he's going to fit in underneath Bill Belichick at all.
Huh.
And plus, he's not a pocket passer.
Right.
So,
I was just thinking that. And, Belichick likes that mentality. Do your job.
Mm-hmm.
Not these flashy splash plays. But he is apparently competing with Jared Stidham. So maybe that's the rationale, is to give Jared some competition against a starting quarterback. I don't know. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
So,
I bet Patriots fans are happy as crap right now, thinking, oh, this is going to be it. This is going to be their year. They're going to win another Super Bowl. Tom Brady you can't be more opposite than Tom Brady than Cam Newton.
I know.
Those two are, extremely opposite. They'll have to change their whole offense around Cam Newton.
If they go with him.
Yeah, they're not.
It's apparently an incentive-laden deal, as per Adam Schefter. So that'll be interesting. Another thing to watch in the league.
Heck yeah. Fun stuff, man. See, that's entertainment right there, man.
Yeah.
This is better than the Jerry Springer Show or TMZ.
I know. Like, I would watch the Patriots
just to
see this quarterback competition. Like, I'll watch their preseason. Why not?
Well, now that Cam Newton's not in our division or in our
You wouldn't just want to see it.
I don't dislike him as much.
But watching him crash and burn wouldn't be the worst thing, would it?
No.
Okay. So we have had, this is the Twitter account, NFL. Oh gosh, okay. My sports update. You know what? Okay. All right. So we've had Tom Brady came from the Patriots to the Bucs. Jameis Winston went from the Bucs to the Saints. Teddy Bridgewater went from the Saints to the Panthers. And then Cam Newton went from the Panthers to the Patriots. So we've had just
that is a carousel there.
I saw a headline today. I have a feed thing with all like Bucs news and NFL news and all that. And I saw a headline. I didn't click on the article, and I kind of wish I did. It was an interview with Matt Ryan, and he said Matty Ice thinks he's the best quarterback in the NFC South. Matt Ryan.
He is the best quarterback in NFC South named Matt.
Yeah. I know. Delusional. He's a good quarterback.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
I think he's a good quarterback.
Very
no
good
doubt
quarterback.
about that.
Yeah, he's elite.
He's not better than Drew Brees, and he's not better than Tom Brady.
No.
So, he's the third best quarterback in the NFC South.
Well, he's in the division with the two best quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah.
So he's like, there's first place, second place, and then he's like
competing with Teddy Bridgewater for 3.
No, I don't think he's competing with Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater is definitely fourth in that division.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, if you look at it, you would go Tom Brady's 1, Drew Brees is 2, Matt Ryan's 2.5.
Okay. Yes. Yes. I agree with that. You think he's only a half step down from Drew Brees?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'd give him a full step just because he can't do anything in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, he just doesn't seem to have that leadership mentality or something. There's something missing there, that oomph. Yeah, exactly, that oomph.
He chokes.
Yeah, too much ice, not enough oomph.
Oh, I can't wait for the season. I hope it happens. I hope we get some preseason games. I am willing to sacrifice any fans at the games.
Any what?
Any fans at the games.
You are willing to sacrifice having fans at the games?
Yes. Just so we get football.
That would be so weird.
That would be weird. They could pump in some noise. Some crowd noise.
That would even be weirder.
I know.
empty stadium and you're hearing all this.
Okay,
It's like ghosts.
What if you could do something like where you're live streaming fans, like just put TV screens in all the seats and then let the fans... Let's do that. Like a Zoom call for... I'll do anything at this point.
Yeah, I really need it because theaters opened up.
Movie
or so
theaters?
I heard. Yeah, so I've heard
Okay.
in this area. And I was like, wow, it's been so long since I've even gone to the movies.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing on TV really. I think we watched everything we could possibly watch. Not that we watch a lot of TV anyhow, but
Okay. I'm not going to a movie theater, and here's why. They are, before pandemic, their sanitation standards were questionable.
sticky floors.
Like, yeah, there's sticky floors. Like every time. And it's all carpet too. And you're like, oh, why? Why would you put carpet in there? And they all smell the same. And that's because there's all that soda and popcorn in the carpet.
I had no idea you had these feelings about movie theaters.
Yeah, and the seats are always gross. I mean, we've gone to these theaters where they have the recliners and stuff. I love those places, but sanitation standards are still questionable. They kind of smell like buses to me. You know, buses always smell weird. Like even mostly like charter buses. You know, they always smell weird.
So yeah, it would. I need football in my life.
Something.
I need something. I need some entertainment, people.
No movies.
Let's get this thing going.
Okay. I'm not going to go to the movies, but if you want to go to the movies by yourself, and when you come back inside, I'll spray you with Lysol.
You do that anyhow. Even when I don't go, I go to the mailbox and you do that. I think you just think I'm gross.
No.
That's what I always thought. I didn't know I smelled like a movie theater. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us. If you want to get in touch with us, you can contact us on Twitter. Is usually the best place. Our handle is at Bucs_observer. You can shoot us an email if you want to. Molly's email is mollyb@buccaneersobserver.com. My email is ralph@buccaneersobserver.com.
We're on Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah, go check out the YouTube. New video coming up. It should be up to tomorrow on the 29th.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost done. I've almost got it done.
Mm-hmm.
Or Wednesday or Thursday it could be. Might be Friday. I don't know.
Might be next week. We'll see.
Yeah. But that's going to wrap it up for us. Till next time.
Go Bucs.